So I don't know how diligent this is going to be. I don't know how regular this is going to be, but I just saw my old little book review of one of the Tiffany Aching books, I Shall Wear Midnight, and I literally just kind of filmed random bits and pieces when I was reading the book, so I'm going to do that for this one as well. I'm still in the first chapter. I love that he talks about the end of the world, and the end of the world for him being the end of the halls and the building being a thing of space, which to us the end of the world is an event, not like literally the boundaries of the world like anymore, you know, because we know so much about the world. That I love that little detail, and I love all the little capitalizations like that. And building on that point, here where he mentions what the other believes about the great and secret knowledge and the different options that this knowledge is, I love that none of them are like an expansion on the world that they live in physically. They're all about like death, telepathy, powers over themselves, powers over the fish and the tides, moving things. It does talk about snuffing out, reigniting the sun and stars, so that it is kind of, there's influence over the outer objects, but not anything about making their world bigger or seeing the world that is outside of their world, which I assume is on purpose, which would be actually quite interesting. Kind of dramatic irony, you know? I love that kind of little mind-bending detail of like, oh man, of course they would think about things so differently having known only this. I love little details like that in a book. I know I'm looking at the wrong spot because I'm looking at myself instead of the camera. Okay, I gotta go to work. Okay, I think the last video was actually pretty close to the end of this chapter because I feel like I haven't read that much. But the next page says part 2, so we're just gonna, I had a little thought. First, I really love the naming of the years. He's correct. It gives the year a character, but I also thought it was really cool that he was like, I have no idea why I named the earlier 2 journals 2011 and 2012 and like didn't look at them. Like for all of his characterization of the things that he's written down in his journals, like did he not go back and look? Or did he not write about the things that are given to us and the things that are not given to us? Are just fascinating. I just need to know more. But I love that it's just like the implication is that he forgot his previous life. Especially since on the next page, he said he dreamt of a fawn. He was standing in a snowy forest and speaking to a female child. And I'm just like, okay, that's a Narnia reference. I love it. I'm at the beach, so I might be doing this more because I feel like I am probably going to be reading this book pretty quickly. Okay. I'd really like to show you that I'm reading in my hammock, but it's so windy that you can't hear anything I'm saying if I'm sitting up. So we're doing it like this. We're hiding inside the hammock. I've got it closed over me. Oh my god, we learned so much in this part. I know it's not really chapters, and I know the chapters aren't really evenly sized, but the confirmation that the other guy, at the beginning, the confirmation that the other guy came from the outside world, aka he has a nice suit every time with a different color and devices, and that Piranesi is not like curious about that at all. Fucking wild. He does notice when he's listing all the items the other guy has brought him, he's like, wow, the house really provides more items for this guy. It's probably because he's useless, which I think is hilarious. But it doesn't go further than that. And then later we get the explanation. The fact that the guy's like, yeah, the house is messing with you. And Piranesi's like, no, the house is totally fine. It takes care of all of us. Sweet, sweet Piranesi. I also want to know what his original name was. I also kind of want to know what Piranesi means, but I'm worried I'll get spoilers if I look it up. And at the end, he finds the outside. It's wild. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. I love all the information that we're getting. I love the description of like the 100 and whatever hall that's kind of like a temple with the moonlit statues that he just falls asleep and wakes up when all the statues are lit up. Like the house is like, you know what? You want to see this when it's pretty.
Not when it's dark and scary. And the little... I love it. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm gonna show you my view, and it's gonna be really loud, so I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry if the wind is kind of loud, but I really don't want to go inside to film this. It's beautiful outside, and you deserve to see the view as well. So, I just finished part 3, and a few pages ago, when I was reading the beginning of the professor, or as Piranesi calls him, the prophet's story, and how he got put in jail, and the young men, I was like, is this a reference to Socrates? Because I appreciate it. It's probably on purpose. God, we just learned so much new information all at once. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm just fascinated and I just want to keep going. I think it's interesting how he trusts the prophet and the other Ketterly or whatever enough to take their word for it that there are other people in the world and that he has lost his memory to an extent, but he still is like, wait, no, it's the house telling me this information instead of, oh, this is information that I've forgotten. He hasn't quite made that connection yet, or maybe the house isn't really allowing him to. But there was this little line, it was like, you're a beloved child of the house, and I really liked that. So there we go. You are the beloved child of the house, be comforted. That and the thing he said to the professor after before he left. I was actually gonna write down the quote, so let's read it to you. Then, sir, may your paths be safe, your floors unbroken, and may the house fill your eyes with beauty. I'm like, no wonder this guy was like, well, you're quite charming now, even if you were a little shit before. I'm about halfway through. I love it. I love it so much. I love seeing other people's references to the house, or the labyrinth, as they call it, or the castle. I love that it's got so many different implications. You know, the things that they name it. I think I like the castle the most, because labyrinth is just, I guess that's where the Minotaur came from. The Minotaur reference, the main Minotaur reference, other than the statues. But I love that Piranesi was able to talk to an actual outside person who seems to love, or at least understand, the house as much as he does, even though he, can't come back and talk to him, which sucks because Ketterly's starting to annoy me. I'm like, bro, I understand you're the kind of antagonist. Stop being a dick to my dude and saying that you might have to kill him. And poor Piranesi is too nice to say anything about that. He's just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to take your word for it. Man, I'm like, what's the entrance to it? Where is it? Is it just in one place? The way the professor or the prophet was talking about it, and that how some people are much easier, much better at finding it. And like, I love that liminality in him being like, yeah, Silvio is great at just slipping in and out of it. And that just makes me think about the story that I'm writing, because the working title is Liminal Ways. It's kind of about a liminal world. I don't know if it's quite liminal enough for that to be the main theme, but I'm trying to stick to it. So we'll see how well that works. I think this might inspire me a little bit. Maybe. We'll see. I try not to take too direct inspiration, or it's more inspiration than, my brother's taking over my spot in the little tent, so I might have to go back and see if I can get it back from him. Why am I kind of looking forward to Piranesi finally realizing that Ketterly is lying to him? I just want him to know more information, because he seems to be such an information heavy person. I love seeing him piece this together, by the way. It's fascinating. And finding, looking back through his journals, I'm like, finally, you're looking back through your journals. I was like, why aren't you not looking at your journals that were labeled weird years and wondering why they weren't? But also the weird backstory. Hey, puppy. Oh, she's hiding. She doesn't want to wash her feet. They're all sandy. You need to get them washed. Basically, I think I'm just gonna probably be racing through the rest of the book. We'll see. But it was interesting to meet 16. I really, really want them to talk. And this is yet another one of those things that makes me want to spit at one of my creative writing teachers in college who always told me I didn't have enough dialogue in my story. There's not very much dialogue in this. There's a lot that happens though. But yeah, I tend to be in the minds of my characters a lot and describing things. Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. But I'm just like, I have less to say because I want to just keep reading. I love exploring more of this. Reflect on your wickedness. I like seeing him stand up to Ketterly anyway. That always makes me feel better. I'm like, okay, at least you got principles. Like, we probably shouldn't kill him. 6 years. Well, I mean, he does have 6 journals, I think. Is it 6? Maybe suffering from delusions, I assume. I want to know more about the house, the labyrinth, the castle. I want to know more about the halls. Okay. We're gonna go into the water later. Well, part 5 was short and utterly terrifying. Gotta love that. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue. I'm like, I need to know what Piranesi thinks about this. So far, he hasn't really believed anything else that's happened in the books. That's insane, though. I love how they're mixing like the, technically a real, rational world, but then making us question stuff about it. Because, like, well, hey, I don't think it was set in our world. Because if there was a guy who'd found a way to get into another universe, then again, he would be called crazy and all of this would happen. Wouldn't believe it. The ocean is so pretty. I'm just gonna keep reading. There was something I wanted to say yesterday, but I really cannot remember. Is the ocean behind me too? Yeah, it is. You can watch it for a little while. Try to remember what I was trying to say. Nope, I don't remember. If I do, I'll mention it some other time. I think it was right as I was falling asleep, so I was like, I'll remember it, or I won't. Oof, that was bittersweet. Like, yes, I finally got, him and 16 talking to each other, and I got him showing 16. Well, Raphael, all of the some of the pretty places inside, but then we also get stuff like, perhaps that's what's like being with other people. Perhaps even people you like and admire immensely can make you see the world in ways you would rather not. See, that's exactly it. I think he recognizes that he's, stagnant in a way, It's beautiful. And it's peaceful. And he's alone. God, I need more descriptions of places in the house. I'm like, please give me more pretty descriptions. I love this. The coral has grown so profusely over his left side of the statue that half of him appears to be engulfed in red and rose-colored flames. One may see, for example, a woman crowned with coral, her hands transformed into stars or flowers. It's so pretty. I think maybe I was trying to remember a quote from the previous part, and I think maybe maybe that's what I was trying to say, but I cannot remember. I'm trying to scroll back and see if I can find it, but anyway, it's time to go back to the beach. Well, back into the water, possibly. It's already done? What? There's like 6 or 7 blank pages in the end of the book, and that tricked me. I thought there was something left, but I read the last line and I was like, this is the end, isn't it? I love the last entry. It began to snow with him recognizing the other people as statues. Statues in the chapter before. Dude, I'm gonna be rereading this book for years to come. I was just thinking about the review I'm gonna leave on Goodreads. It's obviously gonna be pretty casual. Well, not obviously. If you want to be my friend on Goodreads, I'll leave the link in the description. Because I definitely have some statuses and stuff, and I try to leave little reviews because I found that if I try to leave like a classic like review, it never happens. I don't formulate it, so I just write what I feel, you know, a little casual paragraph or two, usually pretty short. I was just thinking about what to write. I'm like, do I try to make up a new system? Should I do 5.5 stars? Because I am pretty generous with my stars. If it's a book that I did not have any major problems with, it's a 5 for me, because that's just how it works. Mostly 5s are books that I'd want to reread, I think, or that are really, really good. Often those two intersect, but not always. I guess it's time to finish reading Starless Sea now. I brought a lot of books with me, but ooh, pelicans. Hopefully you should see them behind me. Flying by. Okay, time to see what everyone else is up to. So I did find the quote I was looking for. I don't remember if that's what I wanted to say or not, but I'm going to read it anyway. The great space was darkened by the velvet shadows of the minotaurs with splinters of golden light between. It was surprising to me that someone like 16, someone so wedded to destruction and madness, should wear perfume so lovely, so redolent of sunshine and happiness. Don't actually remember what I was trying to say, though. I'd like to dream of the house. That would be really nice. I keep thinking about how wonderful a setting that is. Like how, you know, vivid, and how... I just love it, okay? Okay. Time to eat lunch, maybe. There's just something so fascinating and so strange about a drowned building, or a building with the ocean in it. Something so big and so unfathomable, like unfathomable to be put inside something. It's not quite the same as overgrown buildings, but similar, I think. I was just trying to think of anything I could think of that's such a paradox, kind of, conceptually, that's so different, one thing inside another thing. And I was thinking about wind, and I'm like, well, we have wind and clouds kind of in the upper halls as well. So nature being inside, kind of, except, you know, we're used to plants and animals being inside. It's the stihi, the elements being inside. I don't know why I said that in Russian. It's just because I love that word in Russian, stihi. It's also, stihi is the word for poetry, and stihi is elements. So I think that's really cool. Just a beautiful word. I can't remember what I was thinking about yesterday. I keep trying to remember, but it really makes me want to put something like that in my story. Like, not the same thing, obviously, but I want something weird. Like, I think I was thinking about a ship that's an island, or I guess since it's like something that's kind of TARDIS-like, maybe bigger on the inside. I don't know. Liminal spaces. It's about liminal spaces, you know. But I think it was about the relationships between the people. I think it was like, why doesn't for all that the you know, Lawrence loves, or I don't know if he loves the house, the labyrinth, the castle, like, why doesn't he's like, oh, I'll never come back here. I feel like that says a lot about him. And I think well, I don't know how much it said to Piranesi, because he didn't really talk about it. He didn't really talk about what he inferred from Lawrence's relationship to the house. But I find that interesting. The parallels between a person who lives in it and the person who discovered it but will never come back for various reasons. But in the end, I love that he compares him to the nasty guy on the throne. We were just watching, haven't quite finished yet, but we're watching the original Star Wars trilogy, so I'm like, Jabba, connecting it to Jabba the Hutt. Oh man. I think that was mostly it. I think it was just some thoughts about Lawrence and how he found this space and wrote books about it, but doesn't go in anymore. Does he think he's learned everything there is to learn about it? I mean, I know there's a certain danger to it. Maybe he knows it too well and he's scared of it, which would be interesting. There's just, there's so much to think about. I think I'm gonna start How You Lose the Time more next, and I don't know if I'm gonna do this, but they're not. I guess we'll see. We will see. That is my legs. We're gonna be eating outside again. Excited.